So hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And on today's video we're going to talk about the comparison really between the Triumph Tiger Rally Pro and the Triumph Tiger Rally Explorer. We've done a trip on each of these bikes. Last year we did the Switzerland trip on the Explorer, and just gone this August we did the trip to Italy on the Rally Pro. So what's the differences between the two? Well, I did find a few differences, so I'll talk through those. And if you're thinking of buying a Triumph Tiger Explorer or a Rally Pro, it might just help you make that decision before you then go for the purchase. This is just on the Rally range. This is not on the GT or the GT Explorer, by the way. Now, both trips that I did last year and this year were over 2,000 miles. I think we did 2,350 miles on the Explorer, and we've just come back and we've done 2,850 miles on the Rally Pro. Now, the Explorer that we did it on last year was a press bike from Triumph. This here is my own Rally Pro. This is the one I bought. And why didn't I go for the Explorer with the 30-litre tank over the Pro, which has the 20-litre tank? And the main reason for that was that the 30-litre tank, and it's a little bit too top heavy in my opinion, and don't forget this is just my opinion, others might not agree, but yeah, I chose the 20-litre Rally Pro. I do one big trip every year and a few smaller trips, so the extra fuel mileage over the weight and the heaviness on the top end, this is why I picked the Rally Pro. Now, while both bikes carry a lot of the same attributes, the Rally Explorer is about 1.5 inches wider on the front due to that bigger tank, so you get a little bit more wind protection, although that's not to say you don't get wind protection on the Rally Pro. You do, you get plenty for your legs, and also the screen and everything else is the same. The only difference is that you've got a 30-litre tank as opposed to 20-litre on the Rally Pro. The headstock, so you've got bar risers on the Explorer, so the bars are a little bit higher up and a little bit swept back, and that's one of the biggest differences that I noticed between both bikes. On this bike, I had a little bit of shoulder ache on very long days, and I'm talking 7 hours in the seat, a lot of miles in a day, and that was just due to the bars were a little bit further forward and a little bit lower than the Explorer. So what I've done, I'll show you now. I've put bar risers onto this motorcycle. I've just put those on in the last few days, and it's made a world of difference. It's brought the bars 25 millimeters higher up and 20 millimeters back towards me. When I sit on the bike, my arms have a bend in them, whereas before they were a little bit straight, and that was just putting a little bit of tension on my shoulders. So this more comfort, relaxed position is a winner. And that was my only gripe really on the Rally Pro on the whole of the trip. I've resolved that now, so I'm happy with that, and yeah, it's a great bike. Now, on the trip I was getting about 52 miles per gallon, and I was filling up at around 240 miles per tank. Obviously that was a little bit confusing on the trip because it was in kilometers. Now, if you're planning a motorcycle tour or an adventure, there's a few things that I did on this trip. I didn't camp. I had hotels all the way, so a hotel each evening. I've been doing some tours now for many years, probably the last 10 years on motorcycles, and I've found that if you are doing hotels and bed and breakfasts and things like that, then if you take your phone along, you can literally ride a couple hours in the morning, ride a couple hours in the afternoon. That way you get to see some of the sights and a little bit more of a relaxed pace is what I've found. But also when you get to your lunch stop that day, you can also look on booking.com, find out where the destination you want to reach to in that afternoon, and then you can see the hotels on booking.com in that area and just book something up. On the trip, this trip especially, that's what I did the whole trip. Never had a problem, had some really nice hotels. It depends what your budget is. Obviously on booking.com you've got from around 50 euros for an okay accommodation, up to about 100 euros for something that's really nice. On this trip my budget was around 100 euros per night. So also I must mention that if you're planning a bike trip, things can affect that trip, whether it be the weather, things like that. So I tend not to plan trips. I normally plan a destination that I want to get to, and then each day I just take each day as it comes, really. And if that means I don't get to my destination, then fine, but you still have a good trip. Now, luggage on the bike. I'll put a picture up now of the bike with the panniers. These are 37 litres a side panniers, and also I've got my top box. These are Givi Dolomiti panniers, so I've got a 30-litre top box, 37 litres each side on the panniers. And what I have in the top box is just a day bag with some t-shirts, socks and pants, toiletries, those kind of things, and also my iPad and some charging leads, and that fits in all of my top box. So when I go out at night, I can just take that bag out into the hotels. And that's my preferred system. In the side cases, I have things like locks for the bike, also spare jackets. So I take this winter jacket, I also take a summer jacket, a mesh jacket, and also a different pair of shoes for the evenings, things like that. Other luggage that I take, always use a tank bag on any big trips. I find these invaluable, just to put your wallet in there, camera if you like, some spare keys, those type of things. Also very important to mention keys. Always take a spare key with you on any trip, just in case you lose one. And also I keep my V5 bike documents and a copy of the insurance either in here or in my luggage, or if you've got a copy of your insurance on your phone, then that's okay too. Now for navigation, you can either use your phone. I find modern day phones, they're waterproof. If you've got a phone mount on the bars, that's a charging one and a vibration free one. So if you've got a vibration mount, this one I use is from SP Connect, and this has done me well over the years. I've been using their products for about 3 or 4 years now. Never had an issue on an iPhone at all. But navigation, I normally use Google Maps. Your data normally is included in Europe with most of the providers now, so that's one way. Or you can use a dedicated sat-nav, which I did on this trip, being the Garmin XT, which I actually quite like and I got on well with on the trip. Also on the Garmin, it gave me live weather data, and also it kept popping up next petrol stops and stations and things like that. So that was really useful on the trip. The other one item that I absolutely adore now after doing so many miles, in fact on the day home I actually did 850 miles in a single day from 6 AM to 9 PM door to door, so that was just below Grenoble all the way up to Lancashire. And the seat, I have a Cool Covers seat cover on here, and this Cool Covers seat cover, I'll pop a link in the description below. Not only is it a little bit spongy and it gives you a little bit more comfort, but it actually allows the air to pass underneath your bottom as well, so it stops you getting hot spots on any trip. Highly recommend that, it works. Now the other tip I can give you, if you're going on a big tour, make sure you have the right tyres on. This bike came with kind of 50-50 on-road, off-road tyres, and they were very noisy on roads and motorways. So I actually changed them before the trip, and I put on the Pirelli Scorpion Trail 2 tyres. These are more road focused, and it took away all of that noise. Now, also I noticed on the trip that I've done probably about 2,900 miles now since putting these tyres on, and the tyres have got loads of meat left on them. They've worn really well, and also they're not flat spotted on the rear wheel, which some sport touring tyres normally get on these big trips. So I'm really happy with those tyres. That's the Pirelli Scorpion Trail 2s. Now another thing, if you're traveling on a big trip like this, I always recommend taking a puncture repair kit and a mini compressor. You can pick these up from bike stores, bike shops, sportsbikeshop.co.uk also sell them. They have come in handy on trips in the past. On this trip I didn't get a puncture, thank God, but I have used them in the past, and they're really, really handy and get you out of trouble straight away, 5 minutes on the side of the road. Now on riding gear, what to take with you. I always take a good heavy duty jacket. This one's the Merlin Edale jacket. I wore this down through England and halfway down through France, because on the trip it was about 14 degrees till I got to Geneva. After that it hotted up a bit, so I took then a Merlin Shenstone lightweight jacket with mesh panels. Also the Merlin Shenstone breathable gloves as well, summer gloves. And also I took some waterproof gloves as well as my waterproofs, because on the first day I rode through probably about 2 hours of rain, so always take some lightweight waterproofs over jacket and pants. Keep those in your luggage. And also if you get a little bit cold, they're good for protection against wind chill as well if you're riding in a cooler climate. Jeans, these are the Road Skin AAA rated jeans that I got just before the trip. I'll also pop a link in the description below. I find these really comfortable. Also the AAA rated, so they're as tough as leather really if you go down the road on them. Highly recommend. And also just because they're a lot more comfy and a little bit more casual. But yeah, those are the Road Skin jeans. Boots, I wear shorty boots. You can see here my Alpine Star shorty boots. These are actually waterproof, and these have done me well on the trip. They're great, they're really comfy for just walking around if you stop in a village somewhere. So I only take these boots for riding in all day and a pair of trainers just for the evening, and that's it. Packing, what do I pack? So I normally pack for a week away about 5 t-shirts, spare pair of jeans for night, spare pair of trainers, socks and pants, toiletries, that's it. You can always overpack, and don't forget you've always got your money, your credit cards, your debit cards. You can also buy a t-shirt or anything you want. The rest of Europe does have shops as well, so it's really easy. Under my jackets I always wear my Climb airbag vest, and I take this everywhere with me. And then I just charge it in hotels. It normally lasts for about 2 days on the battery on this vest. And like I say, I just charge it up every couple of days, and then I know I'm covered. Now for helmets, it's always good to get something that's really comfy and has a lot of ventilation on a trip like this, because in Europe you do expect it to be hot, especially in the summer. This is the Array Tour X4 helmet, and it's got lots of ventilation. It's got a big old visor on the front. Also I've put a semi-tinted visor on here. Obviously going to sunnier climates, it just helps with the glare. But also I find the peak on this is great, because you can just dip your head like on the cap just here and just keep the sun out of your eyes. It's got plenty of ventilation and ports around to get that hot air away from your head. I always have, even when I'm riding alone, which is one of the things I wanted to bring up actually. So on videos you'll always see me say we a lot, and I mean me and the bike. I don't mean me and somebody else traveling with me. I get a lot of comments saying, who's we? Who you traveling with? Well, it's me and the bike, that's it. A lot of people have got an issue with me saying we instead of I. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm from North Lancashire and it's my accent and the way I talk, I don't know, but that's what it is, guys. So let's have less of the comments about we. It's me, it's the way I talk. If you don't like it, go and watch somebody else's channel, okay? Just wanted to get that out there. Also on the helmet, I use a Cardo Pack Talk Bold. Even though it's just me, I, on the trip, not we. I use this for intercoms with the sat-nav, also for music on my phone, and also to take phone calls. On the front, I always have the trusty Osmo Action. This is the Osmo Action 4. So on this trip to Italy, I used the Osmo Action 4, the latest one. This came out a few days before I went on the trip. It's got a larger sensor and it captures some really nice video images. So I hope you like the footage on the trip. So to sum it up, if I was to buy a Triumph Tiger Explorer or a Rally Pro, which one I would go for? Well, you know that because I own the Rally Pro, and the reasons for that is just that the 30 litre tank, I think, in my opinion, it's a little bit too top heavy. The only niggle I had, like I say, was the handlebars were a little bit straight armed, but now I've put the bar risers on, that's made it a perfect bike really for me for touring. I love the electronic suspension on this bike. This bike actually goes back to the dealer next week for a firmware update. And one of the things that Triumph have added is if you press the home button for 2 seconds on the right bar, it will actually lower the suspension down so that you can flat foot it. So if you're coming up to a village and you're going to be stopping a lot of traffic lights and things like that, that's a great feature. Or if you're on a big tour and you're coming up to a toll booth and you want to flat foot the bike. I'm on kind of semi tiptoes on this bike. They are really tall, so that's a really nice feature that Triumph are putting into these bikes now. Obviously if you buy a new bike it should be in there already, but if you have an older version, 2022 or even 2023 that hasn't got that feature, contact your Triumph dealer and ask them to put the latest firmware on to have that function. The function, I think when you get up to about 80 kilometers an hour, it then raises the bike back up, so yeah, it doesn't stay that way, but I think it's a great feature that they've added that other touring bikes have got on. So thanks for tuning in on the video, guys. I hope that's been insightful about my trip, and if you haven't caught the Italy trip, have a look in the back catalogue. There's 3 episodes. I didn't film too much on the trip. I wanted this trip to be a little bit of a holiday, a little bit of a break for me. And I think on episode 2, where I was staying in Maranello right next to the Ferrari factory, I did go and visit it. I did put it on the video, so anybody that's left comments saying, oh, this is a bike channel, why are you putting Ferraris on there, it's not interesting. Hey guys, at the end of the day, this channel is mine and I like to put content on there that I like. If other people don't like it, so be it. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, then hit that subscribe button, and if you can give the video a big like, fully appreciated. And thank you to all my subscribers that have stuck with me over the years, and more to come in the following weeks. So thanks again, ciao for now.